Hi guys, today we are sharing on the subject of cross-reality. I am Terence and the other members of my group are Aaron, Angel and Joseph. Our objective today is to analyze an existing VR game known as Engineering and its effects with respect to the health effects on the players. We will also be taking a close look at how their designers have worked to minimize the effects of motion sickness and other health effects through UX design principles. We know that some of you might not have heard of this game, so let us explain what Engineering is about. Engineering is a social VR made by a company known as Zero Latency. The game is a full motion VR experience of a 15-minute puzzle and walking adventure, where up to 8 players can enjoy the game at the same time in a warehouse. The size of the warehouse is roughly around 200 square meters, and players playing the game are required to carry a 5 kg backpack while playing, which helps to overcome mobility issues that are often related to VR. Before we show you how the game looks like, here are some interesting points to note. In this game, gravity does not function as expected, which may seem foreign to first-time players of the game. Furthermore, the main fun aspect of the game entails rotation around the Z-axis when players are moving on different planes. These effects lead to sensory incoherence with the visual and vestibular connection, which can cause motion sickness, especially for new players. Alright, so let's see if by observing the video, you can find out some of the ways that their designers have tried to manage the health effects of the game. Yep, you guys have seen most of the parts of the clip anyway, so yeah, let's move on. So, after watching the video, what are some of the design principles that you have glimpsed? Let's see if you have managed to pinpoint any of these principles that we are going to share next. One of the biggest design principles they have employed is to create fixation points. For one, they make sure that the ground is always positioned at the middle bottom of the eye, so that players are familiarized with the certainty of having the ground at the bottom. Other points include having blocks or islands in differing Z positions, which allows the players to form a mental model of the space. The constant backdrop of the sky and the sea also helps in this aspect. With fixation points, players are able to get used to the rotation of the axis, as they would always have a point for their mind to focus upon, lowering the disorientation induced by the rotation. You will also realize that the gameplay is at a constant and slow speed. With this linear translation, players are able to get used to the speed and adjust their mental state accordingly. With the absence of programmatic movement, this reduces VR sickness from sudden acceleration, as users are able to control their own movements and know what to expect. Of course, Players are discouraged from running or moving too fast as well. Players are able to obtain perception cues from the constant and predictable movement of surrounding objects, such as animals that are swimming and flying in a predictable path and water that is flowing downwards. These cues help players to relate to their environment and from there to understand their relative position and orientation. Designers also make sure that at any one time, players are only rotating along a single axis, which helps them to cope with the rotation of the horizon. During the gameplay, players are required to wear noise-cancelling headphones with microphones attached so as to make sure the immersion in the VR environment is not affected by real-world noise. Audio cues within the gameplay also help users to know their relative positions. Last but not least, designers ensure that players have the awareness of the real environment through the ability to see other players and relate to them in the gameplay. By making sure that these characters have incomplete arms and legs, designers avoid the creep factor where characters look too real and often can cause players to be uncomfortable when playing the game. Cross-reality is still an emerging and growing field, and with more R&D resources put into understanding the health effects of cross-reality on humans, we can look forward to even more immersive, user-centered, and exciting games in the future. Thank you. We hope that you like our video. Do us a favor by upvoting below and tell us why you liked it, whether there are any design principles that we should have considered, and whether you managed to spot any of these principles in play during the earlier video. Thank you.